Don't worry about it. We'll be able to do this. So, hello everyone, and welcome to the first ever official meeting, I guess. I didn't really expect so many people to turn out, so it's probably going to be a little bit crazy in here if everyone tries to talk at the same time. General idea for this meeting was to allow you guys to be a part of the discussion with what sort of projects and stuff we're going to do in the future on this server together. So I have a list of, I guess you could call them talking points, things to go over. And what I also want to do is be able to get feedback from all of y'all, so we can, work together on doing some projects together. Also, if anyone has some questions and stuff, I want to make sure there's time for people to ask some questions. Biggest problem is that we're all going to end up talking over the top of each other. So hopefully, what will work is if we just use the chat like it were a Twitch chat, and we will pick out some, some random messages, well, not random, or like good questions or whatever. Does that sound fair and reasonable?
I think
silence. Jeez.
I think I did it.
Yeah.
Did you? Oh, you fixed the permissions now.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Okay, that's definitely like Twitch chat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I wasn't even looking. Jeez, well, it definitely is Twitch chat then.
Oh yeah.
By the way, by raise your hand, by raise your hand, I mean talk. Call it out in chat. So, by raise your hand. What? I'm not making sense. Don't worry about it.
I
Just say
am
something
just
in the chat.
adjusting my chat settings so I can read a lot more.
Found the solution. Okay.
Oh my god.
It's
Okay.
really stupid.
This is like by
Wait.
far the biggest voice channel I've ever been in.
I cannot fit in my.
You haven't
screen.
been to one of our UHCs. I think we had like 130 people together once. That's something we're going to do again in the future, UHCs. Do we have a date for that
Yeah.
yet?
No.
Uh,
we don't.
Tomorrow?
We were planning this weekend, but okay.
Yeah,
we are?
it didn't work. Well, there you go. First note of the meeting. We will be doing a UHC at some point in the future. If anyone's taking notes. So let's start off with a couple of reminders. I'm doing a competition that will have trophies as a reward to basically create a little piece of art in like an art gallery where you can use armor stands to create like a scenario, sort of like thing that you can go and look at. If you saw the last episode of Let's Play Minecraft together, I put down the rules. They're pretty simple. You have a certain amount of space to work in, and you can only use 4 armor stands. So if anyone's out of the loop on that, the episode has the information. But yeah, I encourage you all to go and participate if you so desire. The other thing I got here on the list is visiting the Church of Evil X. Someone has built a shrine to Evil X that is absolutely incredible. If you go into the shopping area, the place with all the yellow clay and the nether bricks, there's a sign somewhere at the entrance that gives you the coordinates to go to. There's a few of them around the place. Totally worth your time checking out. It's wonderful. Weightmaker says, raise your hand if you built it. How does one raise their hand? I guess you can do it in chat, can't you?
I can tell you.
Grace built it,
on the
so
top
did Military
of my
UK,
head.
No, I
Olive
didn't.
Cats, Waffles. Jeez, 4 people built
Wait,
it.
I can tell you from the top of my head people that built it.
Silence.
Oh,
I think
suspense.
Discord has suddenly decided to mute everyone.
Oh.
Yeah,
It can't
Most-
keep up.
it's going through the list, so now every time someone talks, it's just going to mute them.
Well, I have a sneaky suspicion as to who built this thing, but it's just a suspicion. Anyway, if someone wants to tell me that they built it, like I don't know, it seems kind of mysterious at the moment, like they're deliberately not saying.
I spoiled myself, and I know who built it because Corporate X. So if you want my-
Andy built it and it's not here right now because it's an exam.
Ah, okay, Andy built it. No need to spam the
No.
chat. Jeez, we're
No,
messing
time
around
out,
here.
time out. That's not the church he's talking about. That's the church. That's another church.
Okay,
Uh,
there's multiple churches, everyone.
Yeah.
And someone
we're
built one of
very-
them, someone built another one of them. Asuma, can I
The-
talk about the Let's Play Minecraft recap, says Thibiu. Yes. Who is Thibiu and what is the recap?
Can
Can we unmute them?
Yeah. Well, he gets unmuted. X is talking about the church that you access through the bridge. I don't know if you guys know about the twin towers that are next to the subway access. There's twin towers. There's a bridge that connects one side to the other. If you cross that bridge, going from the subway, you'll get to the place that X is talking about.
Oh, someone's been caught cheating, doing teleports. Jeez. Jeez, naughty space. Oh,
Hacks.
disappearing now. I see how it is. I see how it is.
No other people allowed here, Mega.
What?
Yeah, Mega, can
Since
you
we can't
pick-
figure out the permissions, here's the deal with doing a recap. You don't have to ask me or anyone for permission to do something like the recap. If you are taking someone's work and you are transforming it into something new or different, you legally are allowed to do that. So no one needs to ask for my permission. The main thing I don't want to see is that someone or like a group establish themselves as the official or the we're the ones doing this. Like if multiple people want to make recaps, that's allowed. Like I'm not going to officially endorse anything. You are allowed, you know, by law to do something like a recap. So if you want to do it, I encourage you to do it. I also, you know, don't want to see one person doing it and saying that no one else can, if that makes sense. So everyone who wants to do something like that is free to do it, basically. Is that cool? I'm reading the chat on my screen. Peeps are saying it's cool. Sounds like everyone's got it. Where is that Mumbo guy? Says Wasted Venom. Where is Mumbo? Where is he right now, eh?
Ethan,
Jeez.
as I was saying, that's the wrong church. I know which church you're talking about. It's not the one that X.
Pixeled Scorpion. I'm not sure. I actually have the list on my screen. Let me go check something for Pixeled Scorpion. Oh yeah, you are. Okay. Could one of the admins here help Pixeled Scorpion get their trophy after this meeting?
Oh, I can.
Awesome.
Oh, okay.
You got the instructions on how to do it?
Yeah.
All right, Pixel, we'll get that sorted out for you.
Wait,
Is that
which trophy is it?
Oh, there's a list. 1 second.
It's a third place trophy.
Okay.
Right, I'm just writing that down, making a little note. Alright, so next thing on the meeting. I've been thinking about doing this for a while, but whenever you run around the Nether, you might see like an area where someone played for like a week and then disappeared, or bits between builds where things aren't finished, or, you know, like just areas that are a little janky or need polishing up. Who likes the idea of we gather a bunch of screenshots of areas that need doing, and then on a live stream we just go around as a group, and from one to the next we can just target different areas and finish them off. Like opposite my base there's like a big ridge of netherrack with like 2 stone bits on either side, but it hasn't been finished in the middle. So a resounding yes in chat. Can we get some no's in chat? Jeez, it feels one-sided. Feels very one. No, there we go. Well, sounds like we're doing that then. So we can just tidy up the Nether and link everything together and make it all wonderful and stuff. Alright, that sounds pretty cool. Anyone got anything they want to add to that?
Just quick question. Quick note. Kitty and everyone else, please don't spam chat too much. There's
I would
already not
like
going
to
on.
ask, for me, for example, I can only play 1 or twice per month. So if the owner of a plot gets asked before you refurbish it, that would be nice.
Yeah, we'll actively try to not hit up like a plot of someone that's on the server. Do you know what we should have really done? We should have made a rule to leave a sign somewhere with your name so we can verify that they're still on the server. But I'm talking about trying to hit up the areas that are most obviously in need of something, and I guess we'll have to use our judgment and make sure we don't accidentally, you know, go over someone else's.
We can always try to contact the person if there's no response in 2 days or something.
Yeah, like
then we
to
act
begin
up.
with, we'll pick out the really obvious stuff where it's like clearly no one's building here and that bit needs sorting out. Like, yeah.
What are we doing to the resources?
The resources?
Yeah, if someone has like resources still laying around in their base, and if we're cleaning up a base.
Oh no, we're not cleaning out bases. We're cleaning up the
okay.
spaces between and connecting things together.
Oh, okay, no, okay, then I understand.
As for when a base becomes barren or empty, it should just be left the way it was, and the items should just be left alone, I believe. If we try to dismantle or divvy things up, like, it's going to be an unfair process, and if that person ever returns to the server, they would probably be upset if their stuff was gone. So
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Makes sense.
On that note, I've been since the subway is a community thing and everyone uses it, I've taken the initiative to take the resources that were left over from building this place, plus the subway resources, and I've put them into one place. And basically that's the community storage. So if you decide to leave the server and you want to donate things to community, then I'm more than happy to manage them for you.
There you go. You can drop Sherpa a message if you decide to leave, and those things can be for the benefit of everyone. Right, so next on my list, I'm going to not jump into doing this straight away. It might be the episode after next that I start on it, but somewhere in the Nether, what I want to do is start an ice boat racing arena. So like in the overworld on Hermitcraft, if you saw it, we built, you know, an ice track that you could race on with a boat. I was thinking ice works in the Nether, boats work in the Nether. Why don't we build a big area where loads of people can build tracks, and we could theme them all with different colours, because on top of the ice you can put carpets and still use the boats. So I was thinking maybe a certain amount of tracks, but at the same time I don't want it to become uninclusive. So I don't know how that's going to be handled, but some sort of like way where we are able to build ice tracks together, and we're probably going to encourage the wrapping and the weaving around of one ice track to the next. So for everyone playing, like, you'll have to like keep in mind that people will be working around you, things will change, and I'll try and explain all of that in the video when I sort of like finalize the idea, because I need to present it in a way that means we can all play together in the same area and, you know, create something really cool. Liam in chat says golf course. Golf course requires, well, it doesn't require water, but water will make it a heck of a lot better. So when 1.13 comes around, a golf course would be a similar project we do in the overworld. But for now, it's going to be in the Nether. Now, there's one more thing that I wanted to mention, and I don't know what's possible here, but maybe we could consider using a spigot plugin to allow boats in that area to go up a block, or use some sort of command block magic or whatever to make going up a little bit easier, because in vanilla what you need to do is create a redstone clock elevator thing, and that's going to be probably a nightmare on a server this size. So what do people generally think, like yes or no for finding a little solution using command blocks or plugins to just make boats go upwards as well as down? Couple of no's, quite a lot of yeses. There's an actual no's from Waffles there, jeez. It's about 90% yes, and someone is abstaining from voting, jeez. Ank says, I'm all for the slightly less vanilla for quality of life. Yeah, that's generally what we're going to aim for with a lot of features on here. However, I'd say in this scenario, it's for playing a mini game together. It's not for farming or for getting an advantage in the game, and we'd make it probably only work in one area. Pyro says yes, like restrained to that particular area. Yes, yeah, it would be restrained and contained to one place. Would be the idea.
This is all if it's able to be done. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it is or it isn't. We'll have to look into it, but I'd be fairly confident there'd be something of help that could be done. So yeah, that's a project that will be starting soon, and I'll be announcing all the details in a video.
Someone's saying gaming dimension.
We're trying to limit the amount of dimensions. When we create a dimension, it means it's going to have spawn chunks, it's going to be loaded, it's going to be running another thread. So initially the thought was lots of dimensions, everything's separated, that's good, but we've learned that it's better for people to go to a place and load it rather than it being loaded all the time. So
okay, like I want to say something else in that we can like split it into another server, but then if people like don't use it, that's just going to be like the XVS mini games all over again. So, yeah, no.
Well, that's probably a good case for saying just put it somewhere in the overworld if we have a game. Like King of the Hill will eventually be turned into a game, and when it is, that will be somewhere that you go and it loads up so you can play it, as opposed to it being loaded around the clock. There's no real gain from keeping it on around the clock, it seems. Shiny Ray says the temp end dimension is probably going to get the most use. Where are we at on the end dimension? I think we get stuck on a particular problem. We don't know how to solve it. I can't remember what it is.
I think Mega's the one working on that. Mega.
What did we get stuck on again?
We got as far as unpacking the world from a zip file, and then there was something wrong.
Oh right, yeah. I just need to create the script for that. Wait, no, I finished the script for that. We can probably release it.
I'm sure there was like a problem we couldn't solve. Maybe it had something to do with players leaving and returning from the dimension.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's that one time where I left it and I lost all of my equipment. And
Yeah.
we don't know why it decided on that occasion that I would lose all my stuff. But
Also,
there was something going on in there, but I can't remember where we were at with it.
X.
Hopefully you'll have it written down on a note. Yes, Sherpa?
What about the building of the main island? Should we get people on that? Or
Absolutely. Grace, as our builder and person who's active on the plot world, I think what we're going to do is just build something there and copy it across in creative to the temporary end dimension. So when you log in there's this big creative cool build at the beginning. I did have another thought though, and I probably should have thought this through before bringing it up, but like there's a place where you can go to fight the dragon. That is currently the permanent end dimension, but I've noticed that people are trying to build stuff around where the dragon stuff happens there, so maybe it would be better if we had a build done on the end island in the permanent place, and then you go to the temporary place to fight the ender dragon. Does that sound more suitable? It sounds better when I say it out loud. Quite a few yeses.
I see one
no.
no.
It makes sense because it's the place where everyone, like quite a few people have bases there and they'll want to connect it together. It'll be nicer to come through and see that and not have stuff destroyed. So, okay then.
And we avoid the problem of having resources you can steal from the temporary end, which are going to be reset. So, if, for example, we decide to use damage blocks in the temporary end, then you could steal them every week.
Which blocks?
I don't know, any block.
Any block. Why do you use the word steal?
Well, yeah, it's the wrong word, I know.
Well, the idea of the dimension is you go there and get resources.
Yeah, well. Anyways,
so
I think it's a good idea.
You don't have to take end stone from the end islands in the place where we're permanently playing. You get them from the temporary dimension. So that means it's better for decorating.
Yeah,
I think.
We can also do it the way we did it with the town hall and use schematic
Absolutely.
And streams.
So, who would be in favour of building it in survival if we had a schematic we could all use again in the end dimension? Because for that one, I would say build it in survival, as it's part of our survival world.
Okay, that's...
Well, look at this. This is a good product of this meeting. We are getting things done here. Let me.
As long as you guys collect all the resources.
There you go.
As I said, Grace, we have the community storage which we can use for this build again. Of course, if you, again, if someone provides me with a screenshot, I can make another 7-hour stream and get all the resources.
Here's something we'll probably do. We'll probably find a cheaty way to disable the spawning of ender dragons in that dimension, because if someone did spawn it, it would ruin like an amazing build. Because the ender dragon will tear any blocks that aren't endstone or obsidian.
We did.
Cats and I were looking in. Cats, Sherpa and I were looking into that.
Nice.
Yeah. We already have a solution.
Yeah.
We're good at that. Yeah, pretty much, Pyro.
All right, that's awesome then. All right, next thing on the list is to talk about the lag. I'm sure everyone wants to talk about the lag. Who wants to talk about the lag?
I do.
Metamorphic Mike says what lag?
Ooh, boy.
What lag? Well, the server is currently running at half speed, which is
Can I
Terrible.
start?
So
Yes, sir.
we picked Spigot to play on because it performs far better than vanilla. Mr. Polymath says I'm at 75 FPS. So there are basically three different types of lag in this game. There is FPS, which is like your computer rendering all the stuff that's happening in the world. So that is usually just caused by your hardware. Then you have another type of lag, which is like you break a block and it takes a while to disappear. That is often, not always, but often, you'll get the point, is ping, which is like how long it takes to send information between you and the server. And then the third type is what is the server doing? What is it trying to calculate? And what we're currently struggling with is that the server is like, just struggling. It's running at half speed. Now, we're using Spigot, so it performs better than vanilla. It has been optimized a lot so that it's as good as we can make it, and it's running on like some expensive top range server hardware. So we've given it as much juice as we can basically, and the thing that we're going to have to do is play differently in Minecraft to fix it, because it's all about the amount of entities and things happening inside of the game. Unfortunately, Minecraft isn't written to handle 100 people playing together on a server, so it is going to have these problems. The only way that we can fix it is if people reduce the amount of entities that they're using in the game and reduce the amount of like chunks that they're loading by AFKing. And this is a tricky topic because I know the point of playing for some people is to build farms with mobs like cows and pigs and to build farms and then AFK at them. And I don't want to say to anyone they can't do that, but propose that we find ways to try and stop doing that. Or perhaps if you're thinking, I don't necessarily need to do this, it would help if less people AFK'd. Another thing I'm noticing people are doing is they're putting lots of farms into a same space together. So you AFK with a fishing farm, and then you've got a mob farm, and you've got cows and stuff in the area. That's actually going to hurt the server a lot. What we would need people to do is to separate things, so when they do AFK, they're not loading tons of stuff all at once. So if it's something you could all consider to move some of your entities away from where you AFK, things like that would help with the latency that we're seeing. Go on, Sherpa.
Can I? Thank you. Yeah, so this is Let's Play Minecraft Together. I've seen a lot of personal farms, private farms, people AFKing at different places because they don't want to share resources or because they mistrust other people. I think the fact that in a certain way, it's spacing farms away so that they are, you're not loading 5 different farms, but also the fact that you have 20 people loading 20 farms that do the same, where you could have a farm that is, I don't know, 20 times bigger, maybe not as much, and then share the resources and AFK, You know where I'm getting at. Basically,
I know what you're getting at, Sherpa, but it's like I said the other day, we can't tell people not to play the game the way they want to play it, considering that it's the way I play as well. Like, I do the whole putting farms together, and it works on Hermitcraft because it's like a smaller group. It's 30 people, well, less than 30 people, and it's not going to work the same way on here. So this is an idea that I wouldn't expect to really help much, but we did discuss the idea of having a dimension that is the AFK farming dimension, where you go there, you can use a fish farm, there's mob farms and stuff running all around you, and it's the place to go to do that. But the problem is, I'm going to guess, that most people will want to build their own farms to farm, right? I mean, if people actually think, oh no, I want to just stand somewhere and get the stuff, then something like that would be great for it. But I'm going to guess most people want to build their own farms, right? Let's ask in chat. Like, let's have before you all type, just hear out what I'm going to say. Let's have yes for I actually want to go stand in something that someone else has built and get loads of drops, and no for I would like to build my own things and have my own base. Let's see what the split is. There's a lot more yes than I was expecting, and a reasonable amount of no. It's pretty. It's like
the no's came back.
40 yes, 60 no. So maybe there's some advantage to doing it.
A lot of people are repeating because I'm seeing the same person type.
Oh.
No. So
please only type once. I'm in G's.
Can we maybe do this one over
I was gonna
Stropple or
say,
something?
yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
I'll make a Stropple.
Yeah, while you do that, the other point I was gonna make, yes, um, is that there's a pin post or pin message in LPMT about hoppers. I told someone to look at it the other day, and their response was, "No, there's no item filters in there." And that response tells me that you did not watch the video, because in the video it says item filters are the solution. So, I mean, to some problems. So I would ask you to all of you that like your technical builds. I'm guessing there's a lot of you because of what X does. To watch that video and understand that our problem right now is tile entity, and tile entities are in part, or hoppers are tile entities. So I think the biggest portion of our lag right now is hopper lag. So please watch that video and be conscious about the amount of hoppers you have and how you're using them.
If we could get everyone to vote on the thing in the chat there. Yeah, I mean, I think before we get too ham on the hoppers thing, we need to realise what we're talking about, because like lag gets blown out of proportion so much. Like we discover that actually putting droppers on top of furnaces is a little bit better, right? And then people go mad about it in your comments, and it turns out that, like, if you had a world with, like, I don't know, let's say 100,000, not that many, 10,000 hoppers with furnaces on, and then 10,000 hoppers with droppers on top, the performance difference might be actually quite small. So I understand, like, that bug, but I don't know how big the performance impact is.
Well,
Oh no,
that's also
that's not the point.
No, it is the point, because, like,
but
we can't fuss and stress players out over something that's actually not going to make that much of a difference. We should really figure out.
That is part of the video, but there's so much more to the video. The video talks about certain situations where hoppers are trying to put items into chests that don't have the same items and things like that. It doesn't talk about it does talk about the hoppers and the furnaces and the droppers, but it makes a point that it doesn't make much difference. What makes difference is how you're using those hoppers.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough to educate everyone and ask everyone to change all of that. Like, I agree with you, but we can't. I don't think we can be aggressive with it.
No, but if people wanna be nice to the server and understand that the lag comes from such things, then they could,
Yeah. The goal is to educate people, not to enforce something.
Of course, yeah, that's the point. Educate them, and then maybe we'll reduce a bit of the lag that is going on at the moment. We cannot expect 20 TPS. That's
Semi-Derpemi in chat says, I have a question. When will we get custom armor/weapons? That's probably like a phase coming up kind of soon. We're starting to get some boss fight stuff done and put together. In fact, we have like about 4 things sort of converging at the moment that will be on here in like the next month or 2, and then we will need the prizes for those things to include those custom arms and weapons, which means I should probably get on doing a competition soon, because the next competition would be to build some custom swords and stuff like that in a build off like we did with the trophies. So you'll probably see that soon. Yeah. Anyway, Mega, did I hear you wanted to wage in?
Like Brad in Discord suggested that we use bungee cords for separate dimensions. We checked that out, like running the dimension separate servers. But that's going to be, from a technical angle, very, very difficult, because it's not that easy to sync the inventories and sync the chat up.
Well, that's a problem.
What's it?
A lot of vanilla mechanics.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. To understand, guys, that we're not only trying to get 20 TPS, or as close to 20 TPS as we can, we're also trying to balance the fact that we're playing a vanilla server and we don't want to screw with the mechanics to the point where, you cannot do things you normally do, you know? So we're trying to balance things out, and that's why sometimes we prefer some lag over, you know, we prefer to have a bit of lag instead of breaking every farm and every mechanic. So please understand that.
Like
I
we're all.
got. Oh, sorry. I got something else to mention. Elytra PvP event is probably going to be next weekend.
That's like to wage in on what Sherpa said. That's why we picked Spigot over something like Glowstone or Paper Spigot. Yeah, those are like even more optimized, and it's like insanely fast. We can probably run pretty much 150 people on the server with that, but it will break so much. I've talked to several other server owners running Paper Spigot, and they're like, yeah, like if you're doing small stuff, which is the start of everyone's SMP server, especially for public servers, nobody plays for very long, then it's probably okay. But if you're building big farms, which is happening here, everyone wants to build ginormous farms. That's just this demographic, and I absolutely don't blame you for that if you want to play the game like that.
Caxio in chat says, how does Hypixel run with 10k people when we cannot even handle 100? Hypixel has like a massive network of server hardware, massive teams of admins and devs who are, you know, creating all sorts of tech, and they're playing Minecraft in a very minimalistic way. They're not loading massive areas of a vanilla world full of builds, mobs, entities. They're loading up like optimized small worlds with low render distances for mini games that happen in a small contained area. So there's far less intensity on the individual servers, and they have far more hardware to handle it. One thing I don't think we can really do is throw more hardware at this, because we kind of brought the best thing we could get.
Yep.
Also, yeah, it's not hardware. Hypixel runs one of the sponsored paper, whatever, which is what we don't want to use because it breaks mechanics. And it doesn't only use one instance of paper or sponsor, whatever. It uses multiple over a network, be it Bungie or Loot.
There's a lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Nerd Life in chat says, can we do server pruning like Overworld and End Dimension? You can, but you can only really prune your own stuff. Like if you've got 50 cows, drop them down to about 10, and that will make a little bit of difference. If everyone did that, this lag would start to disappear. But we can't go prune other people's stuff because it will upset people when they need to know like why we need to do that. So for anyone here who has like a lot of cows, just consider like bringing down the numbers and whatnot. There are some places that provide free food, so if you've built like a chicken farm, maybe considering just taking it down and using some of the free food.
Yeah. Also about Hypixel. We are using like a lot of vanilla mechanics. Vanilla mechanics is running from the vanilla Minecraft server, running inside of Spigot. What Hypixel has a lot of custom things, and they don't use like.
Yeah, they strip out a lot of the mechanics that happen in the game, and it just runs on like minimal stuff.
Yep.
Wasted.
What's up?
No, what Wasted was asking if we're going to add any custom crafting recipes.
1.13, there will be custom crafting recipes.
Yep.
Right, so here's the thing. I'm looking for ideas now. General ideas, suggestions, group builds, game ideas, whatever. This is like your floor. This is probably going to be a little bit of chaos. For any ideas that y'all wanted to share with us. Survival games area, Kitty Meow Meow, that will be a 1.13 project. Any big project that we could do that requires the overworld will be probably waiting for 1.13. TechWest says change reboots every 6 to 8 hours. What are we currently on for reboots?
Every 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's drop it to 6, and I think we should probably have like an AFK plugin that lets you AFK for 3 hours and sends you a message or something. But yeah, we should totally drop the thing you just said.
All right.
I need people to help finish the Wither Skeleton Farm, says Daniel Cypher. If you're interested in building a Wither Skeleton Farm, Daniel's the person you want to talk to.
I was gonna talk about that because I know that Daniel passed it to Fiddle Ninja.
Oh,
I think.
Spangle's making a map in the end with everyone's face on. So if you want to put your face on a map, talk to Spangle. I should write these down. Hang on. So Daniel.
Okay, yeah. Let's go. Let's. Oh, okay. Fiddle's telling me that's wrong. Okay. So there's nobody in charge. I know that Jordan already has a Wither Skeleton Farm for himself, and he has a schematic that he wants to implement in the area that Daniel has for the Wither Skeleton Farm. So, me and Jordan are gonna organize that, but everyone's welcome to build there. Okay, so it's gonna be a community project, just like this town hall, just lower scale, I'm guessing. It's a runner design, Daniel. It's basically very manual. Yes, this is Sherpa talking. What else? Semi, that's gonna be in the.
Aidan Mack asking about a UHC. We plan on doing one probably next weekend or the weekend after that. It will be sooner than later. Tadolf Swiftler says, why don't we get the carpet mod on the server so we can see exactly what is causing the lag? I don't think that mod would help you see the lag. That mod's for like learning where things spawn and stuff.
Yeah, and we have a thing that detects lag.
We've already got stuff running.
Yeah,
like
can someone unmute
stuff.
Couplux? Can someone unmute Couplux for a second? He was raising his hand.
Sure.
Sorry, Couplux, I cannot talk over people. Sorry.
And Lag Goggles is a mod for Forge, and it doesn't work on Spigot. I tried that.
So while Couplux, okay, there you go, Couplux.
Can we do limiting of entities in each chunk to 50 entities and tile entries? Not sure really. There might be some unforeseen consequences to that, especially if it removes stuff that's already in there. I think we should start with encouraging people to reduce the amount of entities they have, and just see where it goes from there. Hopefully things will improve.
22.
Yeah.
Oops. 22.
Okay, so can I? No need for Couplux to be unmuted anymore. Can I have people? Yeah, people, please. Can I have people that have community projects to mention them? Hopefully one by one, so that we have an idea of what's happening and if anyone wants to help on there, so that they can help. Also, so I can provide resources if needed. Alright, I'll unmute you in a second. Guys, we're gonna have a restart in 15 minutes, so we are gonna have a 2-second reset.
Yeah, I need to wrap this meeting up now. So I've been reading chat. Yeah, there's like a lot of projects and stuff people are suggesting. I think we should wait for the overworld for, because that gives us access to water and a lot more stuff we can do in the overworld. But just to go over the meeting and everything we discussed again quickly, there's going to be a UHC there. I'm running a competition. You can get all the info about that from the last episode. There's the Church of Evil X. I highly recommend you go check out. If anyone wants to make a recap or make, some sort of thing like that, you don't need to ask to use other people's videos if you are, recreating it into something new. So, do what you want to do. Be creative. Oh yeah, we need to get Pixel Scorpion a trophy. We're going to do another maintenance session sometime in the future. We're going to be doing this ice boat racing project real soon. That'll be covered in an episode. And we'll end up doing a big build on the end using Schematica again, like we did this town hall. Then we talked about the lag a lot and ways to reduce it. We'll probably do a sword stream soon, and a Lytra PvP event's going to happen next weekend. And also I've got Daniel's Nether Farm and Spangle's End Dimension faces written down here, which I'll add in the notes so people can read and see what's happening on the server and what they can go Apparently, Ramu says +2 for a help needed board. Yeah, if someone wants to put together a help needed board, go for it.
I'll coordinate that so we can have a space here so that we have
In
board
town
for
hall?
help needed. Yes.
All right.
that's
Yeah. Cool.
part of it.
All right. Is there anything else to add?
People are asking about villager
Jackman?
walking distance.
Yeah.
About what?
Before that, Jackman, no gambling, please. It's a PG-13 server. You should understand that, right?
What's this about render distance? Did someone say?
No, apparently villagers walking distance is turned down. If I understand
Walking
correctly,
distance?
Anita. Yeah. Like
What's walking distance?
they stop walk after a certain distance that you're away from them.
Who do?
Like the villagers.
Oh right. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know
What's
much
the-
about that.
It
better models.
improves performance if we lower it by because it then stops them from doing things, and it does.
Yeah,
It
I
really-
mean we could lower it. It would help a little bit, but the problem is everything we tweak's probably going to help a fraction because it's just the game in general just isn't set up for this, right? So, I mean, villagers unless it's like a thing where they cause a massive amount of problem, like. There's not just villagers, it's cows, it's pigs, it's chickens, pigmen. There's so many different types of entities that there's lots of. So
No, I'm not saying lower it, but just keep it as it is now.
Yeah, I think the problem is
right
it's too
If
short.
we lower it anymore, it starts breaking how other things.
Yeah, it's lower right now.
all right, well let's
people are
wrap this
asking-
one up then. Thank you everyone for coming by and attending. That was a lot of fun. I hope you all enjoyed it. And I don't know what else to say really. It's good fun.